Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Richmond Hills Committee of Adjustment. I will start by the land acknowledgement. We are gathering on lands that have been home to First Nations people from time immemorial. We acknowledge that what we now call Richmond Hill is on the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of Credit First Nation and Mississauga and Chippewa Nations of the Williams Treaty. We also recognize that we are on part of the traditional territories of the Haudenosaunee and the Huron-Wendat. We would also like to acknowledge all First Nation, Inuit, and Métis people from across North America, also known as Turtle Island, who now reside in the city of Richmond Hill. We are committed to rebuilding constructive and cooperative relationships with all. Thank you. With that, I would request the preamble to be recited as usual. Thank you.
Good evening. In the event of an emergency, please exit this room. Outside of the double doors are two stairwell exits. The one on the right exits to the south side of the building, and the one on the far side of the elevators exits to the main lobby. Do not use the elevators or return to the building until directed. We ask all committee members, city staff, and members of the audience to please silence your cell phones. The Committee of Adjustment for the City of Richmond Hill has been appointed by Council to consider applications for minor variance and consent within the jurisdiction of the Planning Act. The chair will call the applicant to the podium to present their application and will allow members of the public to comment. When members of the public approach the podium, please do so one person at a time. Please note the public deputation form beside the podium. Please clearly write your name and email address and indicate on the form if you wish to be added to the notification list for the application you are speaking for. State your full name and address to the committee before speaking. When speaking, please address all comments through the chair. Once the committee makes a decision on an application, no further discussion is allowed inside council chambers. No one other than the applicant, the municipality, certain public bodies, and the minister will be allowed to appeal municipal decisions to the tribunal within 20 days of the making of the decision. All appeals and associated fees must be filed directly with the Secretary Treasurer in accordance with the Planning Act. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll begin by introducing our Secretary Treasurer, Ms. Courtney Cullum, who just recited the preamble, and her assistant, Linda Asikas. Today is her last day here, so we wish her well in her new appointment in this township. From the Planning Department, we have Mr. Giuseppe Russo. It's her first, it says first day here, and my voice is leaving fast, so excuse me. I would like to ask if there's any pecuniary interest, any conflicts of interest. Seeing none, do we have any requests for adjournments or withdrawals? I'm going to wait. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So do we have any requests for adjournments or withdrawals?
Through you, Mr. Chair, there are none.
I noticed there was one correspondence. Is that all we got today?
Through you, Mr. Chair, that's correct. That's the only additional.
Thank you very much. So with that, we would like to start with our first applicant. We have 3 applications at the same address. We could probably hear agenda items A, B, and C together. Mr. Katsopoulos, if you can please present those to us. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, and members of staff. My name is Jim Katsopoulos. I'm the agent on behalf of the owners, 27 Fieldflower Crescent in Richmond Hill. And Mr. Chair, firstly, we have diligently reviewed the staff report, its content, and we're in full support of its recommendations and findings. And with that, Mr. Chair, with your indulgence, I do have a short PowerPoint presentation that I would just like to use in order to further assist the committee with some of the details of the application.
Please proceed.
Yeah. Thank you. So, Courtney or Linda, can you guys go to the site plan? So, Mr. Chair, one of the first aspects that we had to be considerate of here, that this is the actual depiction of the proposed dwellings on the subject lands as subdivided. And you will notice that we were very diligent to try to do two things: stay within the established building line, which are the dwellings to the east and west. And also you note as you go further deeper into the property, you see a bunch of existing trees along the east and south lot lines. So obviously, Mr. Chair, we did our darnest to avoid any impacts to those trees. So that's why we had to position the dwellings that you see before you. Next one, Linda or Courtney. So that's just a depiction of the dimensions of the property. If you can go to the one after. So, Mr. Chair, one of the variances that we're seeking, and I wanted just to show you, is obviously the width of the driveway. And we are asking in excess of the maximum of 6 meters. But, Mr. Chair, I just want to show you that the actual excess variance request is literally at where you see the stairs. And so anything north of that towards the street obviously would fully comply. So the only reason why we did that, we did not want to have the 6 meters and then have a gap from the stairs. So we put the driveway right abutting the stairs on both proposed dwellings. And that's why you have the excess variance in terms of the driveway width. Next one, Courtney. Go to the lot frontage. So, Mr. Chair, one of the key aspects of this obviously is a variance request to reduce the minimum lot frontage of the area from 15 meters, which is 50 feet, down to 12.8, which is 42 feet. And what you have before you, Mr. Chair, is about a 500-meter radius. We wanted to show you the current character of the area, and you see a mishmash. It's almost like a checkerboard of the various lot sizes that characterize this neighborhood. And what you see also prominently, particularly to the west and to the south, the green color, which basically represent the same lot sizes as we're proposing. So on that basis, Mr. Chair, it is our opinion that the dimensions of the lot would appropriately fit within what we consider to be the character of the neighborhood. And that's why we wanted to show you this depiction. Linda, if you can, or Courtney. The other aspect, Mr. Chair, that we looked at, obviously, we knew that there was a lot of activity, previous activity within this area in terms of variances that came before this committee. And I'm not showing you this, Mr. Chair, in terms of any precedents. What I'm showing you, and these are requests, similar requests to what we're asking in terms of lot frontage reductions, setbacks, and GFA increases. What this shows, Mr. Chair, is, and there's another list beyond this, if you can go to the next slide. So, Mr. Chair, all of these previous applications that were before you are within a 5 to 7 minute walk of the subject lands. And again, I'm not talking about a precedence, but what I'm talking about, once these dwellings are constructed on the basis of these measurements, it does establish the character of the area. So, Mr. Chair, so that's a further reinforcement, in my opinion, in terms of what we're proposing in terms of the size of the dwellings would be fitting in very appropriately within the surrounding framework of what constitutes the character of this area. And Mr. Chair, on that basis, I don't have anything further to say, but I will be glad to answer any questions, and I thank you for the opportunity.
Appreciate the presentation. Thank you so much. Does anyone in the audience wish to address this application located at 136 Harding Boulevard? Seeing none, do Planning Department have any comments?
Through you, Mr. Chair, planning do not.
Okay, thank you. I will just begin by actually complimenting Mr. Kotsopoulos on a good presentation, but also I appreciate saving tree number 1. I notice you have jogged your driveway to accommodate that tree, and we appreciate that. That's all I have to say, but
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I will pass it on to my fellow members if they have any further comments. Go ahead, please. I would request a motion. Thank you. We can do a motion for all three. Is that okay? Yes. So if whoever does the motion, please do it for items A, B, and C. Thank you.
Sure. Through you, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve applications A, B, and C at 136 Harding Boulevard. So that's application CN-25-02, MV-25-11, and MV-25-12, subject to the terms and conditions in the city staff reports.
Moved by Ms. Kalbas, seconded by Mr. Duretzi. All in favor? It's approved. Thank you, sir. Our next applicant is application number MV25-09, located at 26 Monticola Avenue. Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is George Pietracci, and I work for RPE Surveying, the project surveyors for the construction of this dwelling. A co-worker came to light, had calculated the stakeout for this property in error. And that co-worker actually left our firm even before the construction of this dwelling commenced. But upon doing the final survey, that's where we found out the error. So in our office, it was calculated the setback from the street to the garage to be 5.65 when actually it should have been 5.85. So you always like to have a 5 centimeter tolerance for anything that we stake out. But this the final tie of 5.60 was what was resulted.
Thank you so much. That explains it. So this is what I call a true minor variance, but does anyone in the audience wish to address this application located at 26 Monticola Avenue? Seeing none, any comments from the planning department?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no.
Okay, our members, motion then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion on item D, application MV-25-09, located at 26 Monticola Avenue, be approved, subject to the terms and conditions in the city staff report.
Moved by Mr. Duretzi, seconded by Ms. Kalbas. All in favor? It's approved. Thank you. Going to move on to item E of the agenda, which is application number MV25-08, located at 75 Maple Grove Avenue.
Good evening. My name is Christina Trenti. Of 188 Alfred Avenue. I'm here on behalf of my client and the owner of the property, Oleg Demchek, who's also present. The intent of our application is to ask the committee to approve one minor variance of a gazebo located in the backyard. Our variance is only height calculated from the ground to the highest point of the roof. To explain why it was impossible to comply, as seen in the drawings, on one side, facing the house, the gazebo has to be connected to a pool deck. For accessibility reasons, there cannot be a step between the gazebo and the pool deck. They have to be level. This raises the overall height of the gazebo to 3.15 meters when measured from the ground. Now, on the opposite side, so the side facing the back of the property, there is a considerable slope going down towards the back of the property into the ravine. So because of the dramatic slope, the gazebo, which was really not meant to be higher than 3 meters, is now considered to be 3.5 meters tall when calculating from the ground from the side of the ravine. We believe that this variance is quite minor. Please consider that we're also 7 feet away from the side lot line. No trees are to be heard, and the neighbors will not be affected in any way. I would also like to add that the gazebo has been approved by the TRCA previously. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone in the audience wish to comment on this application located at 75 Maple Grove Avenue regarding the accessory structure by the pool? Seeing none. Any comments from our planning department?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no comments.
Thank you. The only comment I have, and I would like to know, is the proposed main residence and pool already built?
Yes.
It is, okay. And, okay, that's all. It seemed like everything was new on the plains. Anyway, any other comments from our members? Seeing none, I would request a motion. Go for it, Mr. Duretzi.
Still on. Through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion for file number MV-25-08, that's item E on the agenda, located at 75 Maple Grove Avenue, be approved, subject to the terms and conditions in the city staff report.
Moved by Mr. Duretzi, seconded by Ms. Kalbas. All in favor? It is approved. Thank you so much. Our next application is located at 145 Duncan Road. It's application number CN24-21, agenda item F. And Jim, I think we need you to come back.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, firstly, we have diligently reviewed the staff report and its content and recommendations, and we're in full support of both. Mr. Chair, in this instance, what you have is an existing through lot. Actually, there's only this lot and the abutting lot to the west that are through lots between Duncan Road to the north and Path Lane. And what this is doing, Mr. Chair, is attempting to subdivide in an east-west fashion, whereas 60% of the lot will remain to the north and the 40% to the south. That will be in keeping with the pattern already established to the east and to the west. And for those reasons, Mr. Chair, we feel that it satisfies the provisions of the Planning Act. And I have really nothing further to say, and I'll be glad to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Does anyone in the audience wish to address this? Yes, sir. Would you please come to the podium and state your name and address, and we'd be happy to hear you.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chair. My name is Roger Gosby. I live at 94 Path Lane Road, which is one lot over from the proposed severance. The severance itself is not that much of an issue, as the houses on Path Lane are all single-family houses. However, this lot is a bit wider than the other lots on Path Lane. It's 25 meters as opposed to 18 for most of the others. And that raises a concern, particularly as the applicant stated, because the lot beside it is also a vacant yard that has not been severed. And the concern we have is that both lots, if both lots are severed, the property could be used for the construction of something other than a single-family dwelling. I had a quick look at the zoning, and the zoning permits residential, and it said including single-family. It doesn't say anything about any other type of housing, such as semi-detached, row housing, etc. So our concern is more, or my concern, is more the use of the lot. The fact that it would be severed from the lot behind, that's consistent with the character. But the concern is the use.
I appreciate your questions. I would request the applicant to address those concerns if he may.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair. Very, very fair comments, Mr. Chair. Like I said, it is establishing the parameters as per the established character of the area. And it is a wider lot. I do acknowledge that. At this time, Mr. Chair, our intention is to facilitate this severance. And as the gentleman has stated, if you as the owner is having any intentions in the future to come back before this committee, the zoning currently in this property would only permit the single detached dwelling to be constructed. So anything other than that, you would have to go through council through a zoning process in order to try to facilitate something. So if this ever comes back, just want to tell the gentleman, if this ever comes back to you through another severance, it would have had to already go through council, and council would then have to make a decision. And if that decision is not appropriate, then they won't be back in front of you.
Thank you. So basically, it's currently not allowed to have anything but a single-family
Correct.
residence. And I think that was your concern, sir, was it?
Is that correct? Could we have the planning department's confirmation? of
Well,
that?
yes, of course,
Through the chair, yes, if they wanted to change use, they would have to go through a rezoning application.
absolutely.
Uh,
So we have two experts, a planning department and a planner,
Yes, but the-
confirming your concerns.
I read the form that the department sent out, and it said residential including single family. It didn't say limited to single family.
I appreciate your concern, but I do have, I have a qualified planner and a planning staff member confirming that they can only build a single-family residence. If anything else, they have to go through council. And it's not even our call. It's not a minor variance. It's
No.
basically a zoning and an official plan amendment issue.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm an architect and we have an engineer and I think they will concur. And another planner. Yes, there we go. Do you guys agree? Yeah. Okay, if you have comments, please go ahead. Wait, let me just, so the planning department, no further comments? Okay, any other comments from the residents? Yes, please. Again, if you can begin with your name and address, thank you.
Hello, I'm Marion Lee, and I own the property adjacent to the vacant lot on Path Lane. So I just wanted to make sure that it's going to be documented somewhere that at this meeting that you're saying that it's only single-family development on that severed lot. Because as Roger said, it says that you can build a family residence, including a single family, but you're saying that it's just single family.
This is not my call, but this meeting is being recorded. And both the applicant's planner and our staff have confirmed that, so
Okay,
it will be on record.
it's saying it's single family
minutes.
only.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the residents? Seeing none? Any further comments from the planning department?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no.
Okay, yes, from our members. Mr. Duretzi, go ahead.
Yeah, through the chair. So a question to the planning department. Are these lands prohibited from the construction of an additional residential unit in the rear yard, an ARU?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Member Duratzi, our ARU bylaw would allow additional units to be built on the property, but the back, once it is severed, would be only allowed for one lot at a time, and then the ARUs as per that bylaw.
Okay, thank you. The single-family dwelling could also have an apartment in the basement. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's really not a single-family dwelling. There's really no such thing anymore, unfortunately. I just wanted to point that out. The other point I'd like to make to the planner, the applicant, is that it's a 25-meter lot. So at some point in the future, that could be consolidated and severed once again. Is that correct?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Duretzi, that would have the opportunity to do so, but it is subject to a detailed review by city staff and also to eventually come before this committee for review and approval.
Okay, thank you for that. So that means that if it were to come back and get severed, you'd have not a single family, but you'd have two dwellings, or in conjunction with the adjacent property, you could have a row of single-family homes if it was combined with the adjacent property. I hope that answers the question and maybe clarifies things a little bit more for you. Thank you.
Any further comments? No? I just want to add that, just to clarify what Mr. Duretzi says, I understood that if it had to be severed further, it would not be a committee of adjustment matter, but it would be a zoning and bylaw amendment matter. Is that correct? Yeah, Mr.
Mr. Chair, that's something that obviously would have to have further discussions with city staff.
Okay.
I mean, technically, we could show up here with a committee, with a variance and a consent application.
Because it doesn't comply.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's up to the city's review of this, that's commenting, and then eventually it's in front of this committee for a formal decision.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, please.
Hello, Mr. Chair. My question is if there's two lots there, whether or not with the dog policy that we have in Richmond Hill, that they're now entitled to have 4 dogs on Duncan and another 4 dogs on Path Lane. So 8 dogs right beside me.
Instead of 4.
Mhm.
Well, we just talked about it, and my understanding is if they have to do that, it's not a small, it has to get public hearing again, whether it's through council or us, it will come back to you. I mean, you will be notified if that happens. Am I correct? I mean, I'm
that
asking the
right?
planning department.
Through you, Mr. Chair.
Go through planning, the dogs?
Through Mr. I am not aware of any dog bylaw, but at this time, the applicant is only seeking to sever the lot into 2 different properties. Therefore, there would just be the right to build 2 single-family detached, one facing the North Street and one facing Path Lane.
Right, so my concern is that now that they have 2 lots, whether they could now keep 4 dogs each on each lot and then have 8 dogs.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I thought you were talking about lots. I didn't know you were talking about dogs. My
Yes.
mistake. Thank you.
Because the owner right now.
I had
on
no
Duncan-
idea how that works. Anyway, go ahead.
The owner right now on Duncan has the maximum. They have 4 dogs, 3 Cane Corsals and 1 German Shepherd. And they breeded dogs back probably 2022 and maybe had 15 dogs or 20 dogs. They had a lot because they had a whole litter. And so it was extremely disturbing to me living beside them. And so I do have a concern with severing the lot and now having an opportunity for them to have way more, like double, as to what they have now. So that's a real concern because we live in a very close proximity. We're in the city. This isn't farmland. This isn't in the country.
I understand your concern.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to address it. I'm going to defer it to, again, the planning department.
Okay,
I
so
don't
that
know
would
if there's any
be,
bylaws regarding dogs. I've never heard of anything like that, but there has to be a limit to something.
there
Anyway,
is
go
a
ahead.
limit, but by
Mr.
severing, you
Russo.
create more limit, you create more opportunities to have more dogs
Sure.
by severing it. So-
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Russo.
Through you, Chair Masters. The severing of the property would not expand into the lands, and in our opinion, they would be able to own dogs as per any bylaw that is currently in force in effect with the city. And this wouldn't change the area that they could live on.
Okay, thank you. All right, any further concerns before we move on to the next item? Yes, did you have? Yes, please, go ahead, Mr. Duretzi.
I'm sorry, I forgot what I was going to ask.
Take your time, that's fine. Yeah. Mhm.
It was pertaining to the question regarding the dogs. Okay, yes, Mr. Katsopoulos, if you might, if you could share with us, if you are aware of whether this severance, the owners have intentions of selling that, or are they going to redevelop it for their own personal use? I suspect that if they sell it, someone's going to build a home and they may not be dog breeders. Anything you can share with us on that?
Mr. Chair, through you to Member Duretzi, at this time, Mr. Duretzi, I'm aware that is going to be kept in the ownership of the current owners. So that's my understanding at this time.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, I would request a motion.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve application CN-24-21 located at 145 Duncan Road, subject to the terms and conditions in the city staff report.
By Ms. Kalbus, seconded by Mr. Duretzi. All in favor? Approved. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Our next application is agenda item G, located at 1000 Elgin Mills Road East. And that's application number MV 28-18. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Madeline Gatilius. I'm a planner at KLM Planning Partners.
We are having a hard time hearing you.
Oh.
So sorry.
Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Madeline Gatilius. I'm a planner at KLM Planning Partners. I'm here on behalf of Elgin House Properties, owners of 1000 Elgin Mills Road East. We have read the staff report and are in support of the recommendation and conditions outlined in the report. We do have a presentation if one is required this evening.
Members, the audience, wish to look at the presentation on the spot. Does anyone in the audience wish to address this application located at 1000 Elgin Mills Road East, which is application number MV 2818? Seeing none, do we have any comments from the planning department?
Through Mr. Chair, no.
No comments? Any comments from our members? Yes, Mr. Duretzi, go ahead.
Just one comment. I think this sets a record for the smallest deficiency for a
Yes,
that I've ever seen. So congratulations on that.
there you go.
That's my only comment. If there is any other comments, I can make them.
Well, that's why she didn't get to do her presentation. That's why.
There you go.
So we would request a motion.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion that minor variance application MV-25-18 located at 1000 Elgin Mills Road East be approved, subject to the terms and conditions in the city staff report.
Moved by Mr. Duretzi, seconded by Ms. Kalbus. All in favor? It's approved. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day. Our next application is item I. It's the last,
H.
No, it's item H, located at 333 Palmer Avenue. And that's application MV 24-91. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening. Please do let me know if you have trouble hearing me.
Not at all.
Jonathan Binskowski, I'm a planner with Solark. I don't even know if I need it. We can do that if you like. I've also never heard somebody bring up dogs as an objection. That was something very interesting. All right, if we could bring up the site plan, please. I would like to go over a couple of things unless you don't require a presentation.
I think we'd like.
Sure.
I would like. And so do my members.
Sure. We can bring up the site plan, please. Just to address the side yard setback. So the combined side yard setback required would be 5.44 meters, or essentially 17 foot 10, which is a very generous side yard setback in a compact urban environment like Palmer is, where generally the dwellings are closer together. So if we go to the site plan, perfect. Just to review the existing side yard setback of the dwelling that's there, and you can see it through two ways as it's illustrated on the plans. One is through the dotted line that is obviously on the plans, which shows the existing house. Those dotted lines translate to the following: a 1.2 side yard setback to the east and a 2.16 side yard setback to the west. Now, when we also look at the adjacent houses to the east and the west, we have an adjacent side yard setback of 1.12 meters and a side yard setback of 2.17 meters. So in terms of the introduction of a built form or a massing that is not on Palmer as it relates to the side yard setbacks, we can see it exists not only on the subject property today, but on the adjacent dwellings that are there. In essence, we are actually reducing one of the side yard setbacks. Additionally, if we stay on the site plan here, we can see that the existing dwelling actually has a small bump out at grade that does extend further beyond the rear wall that we are proposing. Again, albeit being a smaller bungalow with the proposal being a two-story dwelling, but again, it still does extend further. Again, staying here, I'd also like to address the spatial separation between the dwelling itself and the proposed adjacent dwellings, not the side yard setback of the garage, because if we will look at both of the adjacent dwellings to the east and the west, that is actually the side yard setbacks to the garage, not to the dwelling itself. So the side yard setbacks to the dwelling itself would be 5.93 meters to the east and 4.68 meters to the west. Again, taking the additional 1.52 meters we're proposing, we have a grand separation between the actual livable spaces between them. If we could go to the front elevation, please. To address the height is measured from the crown of the road. From the crown of the road to the actual grade is a difference of 0.38 meters. So the actual height, when we look at what would be the slab of the garage, essentially the first floor, as you would visibly see it, is at 9.62 meters. Additionally, as we look at the coverage, I've kind of addressed the spatial separation of the two dwellings. I'd further like to say that there is a proposed rear yard setback of 9.86 meters or 32 feet 6, which in my opinion allows for amenity space in the rear yard of this dwelling. Additionally, when we take into account that spatial separation we have from the garages to the dwellings, again, people often don't use the area behind their garage as their primary sort of outside amenity space. It would usually be a deck off the dwelling. Again, I don't think the increase in coverage would cause much of an issue. That's essentially what I have to say. I'm happy to answer any questions if the committee has any.
Thank you. Does anyone in the audience wish to address this application? No, there was a letter we received on this application and they were concerned about the rear yard setback, but I see you are complying with it.
Correct.
They may have misunderstood it as being a side yard setback. And I do see that the person who wrote the letter is on the side where you're actually a little bit further back than the existing dwelling.
Correct.
Even though you're higher.
I like calling what did he refer to you as? Chairmaster, I like that.
Ah, that's
I thought
okay.
that was
Your
good,
flatter
too.
will get you nowhere.
I thought that was good.
That's unfortunately true. Because I'm gonna dock you on something. I don't know. I'll make a comment and then I'll pass it on to my fellow members. You're the last applicant, so, no, you're not. There's one more left. Sorry. Just, you'll have to indulge with me. I'm a little concerned about you knocking out the middle tree there, tree number 1 or whichever tree that is. That's on your driveway.
Yes.
If you noticed, I complimented earlier it was Jim actually, they jogged their driveway to save the tree. I would request you to look at that, otherwise I will not be in favor of this application. I think it's a huge tree and it's easy to save.
You know, it's funny, Mr. Chair. Before I review this in depth, part of my presentation was going to speak to when you actually are on Palmer, you can't really see the house because of the foliage that's really in front of it. What I could say, Mr. Chair, is if you would like to put a condition that we, and I don't even know how we could do this rather than expanding into the boulevard itself, because right now we are expanding the driveway width into the boulevard. Okay, so other than a condition where you say we can't remove that tree, which if that indulges you, I don't have an issue with that. That would mean we would have to curve the portion of the driveway around the tree.
Mhm.
I don't have an issue with that. I'm in your hands with a condition, but we would be happy to have something in place that ensures the survival of it.
Okay.
I guess what I'm saying is, if we could come up with an appropriate condition that does that.
Yeah, okay, I'd like that, but I would ask if the planning department has any comments on this application at the moment.
Through you, Mr. Chair, at this moment, we do not have any comments.
Okay, my partners and fellow members. Yes, Mr. Duretzi.
Through the chair, we've seen some situations like this on other applications. I'm not sure that we put conditions on applications with respect to trees because we have a tree bylaw in town. And they do an extensive review at the detailed design stage of the application. With respect to tree 2 that Chair Masters was commenting on, do you know the condition of that tree? Is there a tree report? Is it the tree in good health?
They're healthy.
It is.
They're beautiful trees.
Very,
healthy.
very healthy and beautiful.
I mean, if you look it up on Google, you
I
can't see the
saw
house
report.
from the actual.
Okay, I just
tree itself.
wanted to confirm that.
Yeah.
The other comment that was made was with respect to the grading and servicing plan and your service connections on this lot. so that they didn't interfere with the trees. So have you moved them? Are you putting them under the driveway?
Through you,
Or-
Chair Master, I don't really, I'm not really aware of how they're going to accommodate the servicing.
Okay.
But that might be one of the conditions that could tie into that, where the servicing can't do that. That could actually, in effect, act as the way to maintain the tree.
Well, it might be the
It's through
opposite,
that.
actually, because now we're running out of room. You're running out of room with your driveway. You have to put your services somewhere. So maybe tree 2 has to go for both the driveway and the service connections. Because you've got a water, a storm, and a sanitary service, and they need a spatial separation. So you've only got so much frontage to work with. That could be a reason why tree 2 is also slated for the removal.
Through you, Chair Master, I'm not an engineer that does service. I have a fair amount of knowledge of it. What I would say is I would assume we would have enough space. I don't know where the existing servicing connection is
Right.
today. I have no idea. Again, I'm happy to do anything to save that tree. If we could come up with something short of Richmond Hill telling us the service connection has to go here. That's not something, that we might be able to argue with
Right.
engineering itself. That just may be something where they say, whether it's a vertical separation or a horizontal separation that has to be achieved for the servicing, we may just have no say in that.
I mean, the condition that we've put on other applications is that it's conditional upon further review and acceptance by the Parks and Natural Heritage Department.
Absolutely
That's
acceptable.
Just a wording condition.
Sure.
We can't really put anything that's more concrete than that. other
Through you,
than-
Chair Master, Mr.
Done that
Trotzy,
before.
we're happy with that.
The only other question I have is I'm looking at 2 different plans for the deck in the back where there was some concerns about reconfiguring or reducing the size of the deck so it's not as intrusive on the backyard tree. One of your plans shows a staircase that jets perpendicular to the back wall. Another plan, the tree inventory plan, shows the deck that runs parallel to the deck. So which is the latest site plan that's being implemented?
The one I have is perpendicular. Madam Chair,
the
if we
wall.
could we bring up the site plan? I didn't look at the deck when we were reviewing it, but we could tie it to the site plan that I think should be this one, because the latest set I have is like that.
Well, okay, so the one that's with the staff report jets out perpendicular to the back wall. That's with the staff report, but the tree inventory site plan that was provided shows it parallel to the deck.
So this would be the one we could tie it to that is the furthest away.
Okay,
from
very
that
good.
tree.
Yes,
Yes.
that is less intrusive. So
That,
I'm satisfied.
yeah, and that's the one I actually have also through you, Chair Master.
Thank you.
Any other comments? No? So to the Secretary Treasurer, I would like to put a condition, try my best to save that tree. Could you help us out on that? And then we would request a motion. And I'm happy to say that it be approved, provided the trees saved, subject to review by engineering and parks.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I apologize. Can you repeat? the condition?
Sorry?
Can you repeat the one
Yes.
condition?
That a new condition be added, that to save, is that tree number 2 on your plan? I don't have the,
You could say maybe the tree that currently is located in the driveway.
yeah,
And
and
then, because we're gonna tie the
Yeah.
approval regardless to
Yeah.
that same site plan that
exactly.
has the stair located, so it could be the
Okay.
one located in the driveway.
To preserve that tree, subject to review by engineering and parks. Okay. Are you good with that?
Absolutely, Mr. Chair.
So I would request, can I request a motion now? I think Courtney has that down. Yes, Mr. Duretzi.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Through you, Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion for file number MV-24-91. That is item H on the agenda, located at 333 Palmer Avenue, be approved subject to the terms and conditions in the staff report, as well as the preservation of tree number 2 and further review from Parks and Engineering.
Moved by Mr. Duratzi, seconded by Ms. Kalbas. All in favor? There you go, sir. It's approved. Good then. Have a good night. Our last item is item I on the agenda tonight, which is located at 155 Rumble Avenue, MV 24-90. Welcome. Yeah, it's on now.
I do. Mr. Chairman, good evening, members of the committee, planning staff. Dan Barry, agent on the application 35 McDonald Street, Alliston. And the application before you here this evening is for the addition of an addition to an existing detached garage to allow a third parking space, as well as a cabana being attached to the back of the garage as well. And that's triggering 4 variances. Maximum gross floor area, maximum height to the peak, maximum wall height, maximum floor area of a detached garage. And I want to point out, please, that our height and our wall height are existing conditions, meaning that's the existing height of the existing detached garage, which we're just building off of and matching. And our maximum gross floor area is being increased by 26.49 square meters. The way that the zoning notice here is written is a little innocently misleading because it says 142.18. But that's because it's factoring in the existing legal conditions, which is how big the house actually is, and the zoning notice is only stating the minimum for the zoning bylaw. So we do feel that it is a minor variance in nature to accommodate the homeowner's desires and blends in well. We're not trying to create and pepper the lot with various buildings, and that's why the cabana is being attached to the garage. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. All the audience is gone, so I'm not going to address them. Planning Department.
Through you, Mr. Chair, no comments on the planning department.
Okay, thank you. My only comment is that obviously your cabana and garage are not 1,400 square feet, but the house already exceeded. Is that what you were just saying?
It is. So the house was built, it's actually just finished in the spring of 2024.
Okay,
And during that time, it went through an approval process.
that's fine.
Yeah, where it got an increase in the allowable coverage. So currently, the house and the garage is at 382.1 meters squared.
That's fine.
Yep.
I don't have any other comments. Do we have any other comments from our members? And if not, I would request a motion. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve application MV-24-90 located at 155 Rumble Avenue, subject to the terms and conditions in the city staff report.
Moved by Ms. Kalbas, seconded by Mr. Duratzi. All in favor? It is approved. Thank you, sir. Have a very good evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening yourselves.